Guys, it's early the next morning again. I'm not feeling well, and so I slept in a little bit and I worked a little bit late, and I'm not making progress on the stuff I want to be making progress on, which is kind of driving me insane. I took a little break and shot a video for I don't know if I should say. It's a secret. I don't know if you guys will be seeing. You guys probably won't be seeing that, because it's more of like a test video to see if this is something that will continue into videos that you guys might see. The gay marriage video is doing all right. I didn't get as much negative feedback as I thought I would. It's becoming a little bit of a haven for discussion and argument and trolls and stuff, which is fine. You know, I expected that. I don't know. It's weird. Someone mentioned, I apologize for not remembering your username. I do know you by your username. I associate your avatar with your username, but I cannot remember which one of you said it. But was talking about because I said in my last video that it's hard to go, well, I'll just wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow will be better. Not necessarily knowing if tomorrow will. You said that basically sometimes you just think, well, one day it'll be September. Excuse me, which is funny because you live in the southern hemisphere, which would make September like spring, which is wonderful. It's supposed to be spring here. It's not. It's still cold and gloomy and meh. But it's funny because I actually really enjoy. I don't enjoy spring as much. I don't know why. It goes from being dark and calm to all of a sudden just green and bright and crazy, and I don't know. For me, it's just kind of. I really like the fall. I like seeing the colors of the leaves. I like the wind. I like the wind a lot because you get from hot, sticky summer to just breeze, and I love it in the northern hemisphere. But I don't know. I don't. It's so weird. Usually I either have an idea of what I want to say, or I turn on the camera and things just sort of come to me, but I don't necessarily know that I have anything to fill you guys in about. I cleaned up a little bit. The apartment's still a huge mess, and I feel like there's part of me that just, I would like to be more organized. I would like to have... I feel like I'm kind of at a point in my life where I need to be... where it'd be good for me to be more organized, to say, like, you know what, I'm going to get up at a certain time every day, and I'm going to shoot something in the morning, and then go to work, and then do something weird. But then at the same time, I've always been the type of person that doesn't do well with super rigid scheduling. But I feel like, no, I'd like to, you know, get the apartment just like spick and span. There's an arcade. How old am I? Seriously? I feel so old all the time, and I know it irritates people that are older than me. But there's so much. I mean, even the comedy and stuff that I produce, there's so much that goes into it, and it's dumb because I can't just turn on the camera and be funny. Or at least not in a way that I particularly enjoy. I mean, maybe I can amuse you, and that's great. But for me, you know, I'm not going to make a video if I don't particularly enjoy what's behind it. And I was actually the gay marriage video was almost a song. It was going to be a comedy song, sort of Tim Minchin-y, just sort of like a politically motivated comedy song. And then I'm like, you know, that's not really tasteful. I was concerned that it would be very misconstrued. Where am I going with this? But no, there's so much like background where it's just everything that I do when I try and be funny. It has to have a point to it. It has to have a meaning behind it. You know, I've watched all of Cheers. I've watched all of Frasier. I watch so many sitcoms just because I'm like, well, I should understand the comedy behind this. And I read books on comedy. I listen to like an audio podcast of some comedy writers for The New Yorker talking about how they create comedy. I listen to tons and tons of stand-up. I fall asleep listening to audiobooks. When I'm working on a video of any subject, I'm like, well, you know, I'm reading books and listening and watching TED Talks, and just, I feel like I have to know as much as I can about something and then try and find the angle that's humorous about it so that it comes from a point of intellectual honesty. Because I don't like making... I think what's scary to me is if I make a joke and then someone discovers that the premise underneath it is flawed. And of course there's no way to avoid that entirely. That, you know, I'm going to say some things that are flat out wrong and incorrect. But to the extent I can minimize those, I feel like I have to do that. And so it's just, there's so much... I make my life so much harder than it has to be. And people have been saying this to me for a long time. In middle school, people were telling me that I'm thinking too much, stop thinking so much, and that drives me insane. Because how do you, if you're the type of person that thinks all the time, how do you just, oh, I guess I'll just not. I can give myself other things to think about, but that doesn't work. And that's been one of the great things about YouTube, is that instead of thinking about weird, crazy, depressing thoughts, I'm thinking constantly about creativity and comedy and, you know, art and... art, I don't know. Is what I do art? Probably not. It's just stupid. Well, that's the dumb thing, is that there is so much study and philosophy that goes into behind what I do, and I'm making crappy, dumb jokes. That's what I do. So I'm trying to come up with an analogy. I can't come up with one. It's just plain stupid. So be stupid, everybody. I guess. Bye.